In today's video, we're going to try on the new Tom Ford Architecture Soft Matte Foundation in 2 different ways. Then we're going to look at the new Tom Ford Cafe Rose Cream Blush in Cafe Blush. And after that, we're going to jump right over to the brand new YSL Love Shine Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balms. Hello, Princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have a kind of interesting video on how I have put together our products. We're going to be looking at Tom Ford, but we're going to branch off a little bit into Charlotte Tilbury, who was the first one who ever worked up the Tom Ford Cosmetics collection, and a little bit into Saint Laurent, which of course Tom Ford was the creative director of for so many years and really changed the house. So it's kind of Tom Ford ties in and out of every one of these products that we're looking at today. And as you saw from the preview, that would be the Tom Ford Architecture Soft Matte Foundation, brand new. The Tom Ford Cafe Rose Cream Blush and Cafe Blush, new to, or newish to the North America certainly, and our brand new Saint Laurent or YSL Love Shine Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balm. If you are in an absolute hurry, don't forget to make use of the very detailed timestamps down below. They're printed in the description bar, but you can scroll across them on the screen. And also, down in that description bar, you can find shopping information for all of these products mentioned and more, but also super thanks, which I greatly appreciate, and information on our $4.99 a month membership. We would love to see you there at our lives. You can also check out my content on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. Let's give some quick information on these products that we have here, and then we're going to go right into the demo. We do not need a full, true wear test today on our Tom Ford Architecture Soft Matte Foundation because I have been playing with it and wearing it a lot. It's a treat when I get to do that. When I'm backed up with a lot of new products waiting in line, I do get to experiment a little more. This is, hold on to your hats, $150. Oh, say it again, Rebecca, say it again. $150. It promises 24 hours wear. It controls oil, is humidity resistant and fade resistant. And it is a really, really pretty one. It comes in this gorgeous, very hefty bottle. You're paying for the bottle. You might as well enjoy it with this lovely frosted glass. And I often say with these types of products, especially Tom Ford, if you're not liking the look of someone, you can touch up your face and then hit them with your foundation. I'll deny I ever told you that, but it's quite the weapon. So we're going to try that on. I've been playing with it a lot. We're going to try this on 2 different ways because I took some advice from the Cosmetics Cupid at Neiman Marcus on Michigan Ave in Chicago. That's Andrew. And we were talking about this, and I'll tell you some of Andrew's tips as we try this on a few different ways. Speaking of Cosmetics Cupid, Andrew in Chicago Neiman's, Andrew was able to get me this next Tom Ford product. This is the Cafe Rose Cream Blush in shade 01 Cafe Blush. It's Tom Ford. It ain't cheap. It's $95, but it's a pretty one. Let's start by looking at the packaging here. Look at that packaging. That is some cool. Tom Ford always does really lovely packaging, but this is some really nice stuff. A little bit hard to get into if you're me. This is a cream blush. And you know what's interesting about it? It has, to me, I love the fact that it's kind of right now a universal shade, but you know, it's titled 01. So I'm sure there'll be more coming, but it's got this pretty little mirror inside, and it's got this beautiful stripe, which almost guides. You can put it on with fingers, like tap it on. I'm wearing it already. You know, you can put it on with a sponge, with a brush. We're going to do it a few different ways. I just kind of love the way it applies because it applies and builds to me a little bit like a creamy powder. And it doesn't have that kind of sweaty property that some cream blushes have. Sorry, but it's true. I'm not always the #1 fan of cream blushes. This is a drier without being cakey. cream blush, and I appreciate it for that. I love the shade. Let me just swirl around a little bit here, show it to you on my finger, see if we can get a nice one there on my arm. See that? It just kind of builds so nicely. I like that about it. It's just really, really pretty. See that? Isn't that nice? Yeah, I really like that. And we're going to try that on today and put it on the eyes as well. Don't tell everyone at Estee Lauder that I'm using the Tom Ford product in such a shocking way. But we'll try it. YSL, who, like I said, Tom Ford was the head of for so long, has come out with a new lip product. So Saint Laurent is killing it with their lip products. They're all of these kind of balmy, shiny, love shine things. And they have silver with red in the middle, silver with pink in the middle. They're every shade imaginable. Now we have it all pink with kind of silver hardware in the middle. This is the Love Shine Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balm. This comes in 6 shades. It's brand new and is $40. A note back to the Cafe Rose Cream Blush that I should have given you guys is that this has been out. If you're in Europe, you're like, that's not new, but it's kind of just newly available in North America. That's what I thought I would say. Okay, but these really are new. These are a soft, shiny, sheer flush. They're a little bit pH adjusting, supposedly, so they're going to be your own unique shade. I'm not sure how true or untrue that is. They're naturally plumping. No, you will not have any sort of weird prickly feeling. They say they use maracuja. Tarte's like, what? What? To naturally plump. And they do have a little bit of fragrance listed, but it's the very last ingredient right after fig and fruit extract. And I guess that's what makes a little bit of the scent. I have 2 shades here that we're going to try on. Right now I am wearing the Brown Nude, which is the 6B. You know I love a brown balm. So they have like a little bit of maybe it's a fig scent. I've never really... I've eaten fig before, but I've never been like at the cheese plate with the fig to try to really... Mommy, she's sniffing the fig. So I don't know, but they do have a little bit of a slightly cloying sweet smell, and it does dissipate, but it's there, and I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Okay, let me just show you. The one I'm holding here is 44B Nude Lavalier, and we will try that on in a moment. It goes really, really well with that Cafe Rose blush, doesn't it? Again, supposedly this is going to look a little different on you than it does on me because it's got these pH things. And then we have our 6B Brown Nude that I'm actually wearing now, but I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. And you can build it a little bit. I will say this a few times throughout this video. Can I really tell you the difference between these Love Shine, YSL products, balms, glosses, and the others? Not really. I suppose if I sat down and really applied myself like I was cramming for a test, then I probably could. But right now I'm going to go with I can't. Let's just go with that. You want to see these shades a little better? Let's take them outside into the warm California sunshine. It's nighttime when I'm filming. Who am I kidding? But I'm keeping my tagline. So we're going to take them outside, but inside, into the warm California sunshine that's really just the outdoor mimicking light in my bathroom. So just so you can see them a little bit better, we have the Tom Ford Cafe Rose Cream Blush in Cafe Blush, same swatch as you just saw, followed by the Love Shine YSL Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balm in 44B Nude Lavalier and 6B Brown Nude. The only thing left now is to go to the demo. I want to try this very, very hefty price tag and a very, very hefty bottle foundation on in 2 different ways, so we can talk about that. And I'm going to talk to you about how it wears as well. If you haven't already done so, I would love it if you could clickety-click over on that subscribe button, as it helps me get the word out. Let's go to the demo right now. Okay, so we have our architecture foundation here in 5.5, and luckily I've been playing with it a lot. Usually I have to do a super quick first impression to let you guys see this, but boy, I have been more overwhelmed with product than I usually am with holiday releases, which are fast and furious. So because I've been so overwhelmed, I've been able to wear this around and play with it. And I can tell you that. We don't have to do that wear test because I know everything. But there's a few things I want to show you. Now, as you know, I got the Cafe Rose blush from the Cosmetics Cupid, Andrew, in Neiman Marcus in Chicago. But Andrew and I were actually talking about this foundation, and he was saying once it's on, it's on. When you use a primer, pick a nice kind of slippy primer to put it on with. He's right. And you know, you can't put it all over your face and then blend it, because it's going to start like adhering, okay? It's a good thing, but it doesn't always make application as quick as you might think, you know, a normal liquid foundation would be. So because I've been playing with this so much, I thought we'd have a little bit of fun here today. And I'm going to show you 2 different ways to apply this, okay? I just have morning skincare on that has sunken in long ago, so it's almost like I got nothing on my face. We're going to do one side of the face just straight on my face with nothing underneath it. And then we're going to do one side with, I'm going to actually put the most glowy primer base I know of underneath it, and that's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Let's try it both ways. Okay, so we're going to start first. I'm going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. Oh boy, it's going to stay on the back of my hand too, let me tell you. And I'm just going to apply this to essentially bare skin, and I'm going to work very quickly with a brush. You could use your hands, you could use a sponge. I like a brush. And this, for those of you following along at home, is a Sonia G brush with a combination of natural and synthetic bristles. That works really well with liquids. And as you see, even for me, I'm working fairly quickly, and this will become part of my skin. I'm very comfortable and fit in really, really nicely and lay on the skin really nicely. Okay, but as Andrew was telling me, if you're looking for that smooth, super smooth application, you can use a nice primer with this one. So I thought we would try this. I really love this as a primer. Let's see what shade this is. This is shade 3, but I even sometimes use shade 4. And this has the doe foot applicator. And this is a little light, but that's okay. I just kind of want to show you what it's like with a really glowy primer underneath it. And I do like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter on the eye, actually. That's something that Charlotte Tilbury does. Now, the Charlotte Tilbury Tom Ford combination, as you guys know, is a very classic one, because when Tom Ford first created a makeup collection, it was Charlotte Tilbury who was in charge of it. And they were under her direction, and they were her first products. Okay, so here we have so far our Tom Ford Architecture Soft Matte Foundation on just basically bare skin. And here I put a little layer of a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Here we go. We're going to apply this over it. And I just want to show you the difference. Now, how does it apply differently? It applies differently in that it is a much smoother application. That makes this application seem like a negative experience. It was not at all. This just goes on a lot smoother. You know, I don't have to work quite as fast, though I'm still working quickly. I don't have to work quite as fast, and it gives it a little bit more spreadability. Again, on this side, I didn't find it resistant. I'm just letting you know the differences in application. And there will be a slightly different look as the glowiness kind of peeks through on this side. And on this side, we have more of a really matte. And on this side, it's more of a soft matte, okay? So it's still kind of a natural matte look, but I am getting a little bit more life from this side of the face. Now, this will depend on a few things, of course. What you're working with underneath. When did you put on your skincare and your sunscreen and all that? You know, some of us have to get that all done and put the makeup on right over it to get out the door to work, and I understand that. And some of you will have some time to let it soak in or have less of a morning skincare routine. Some of you are starting with a super dry skin underneath, and some of you have a more oily complexion. You know you. I'm just kind of showing you the various ways. If you are going to put this on with a glowy primer, you'll just get a smoother, easier application. And this, you'll get a more flat look, still just as pretty, but you'll have to work a little bit faster. I don't know if you have a preference, but you know, there are other factors at play as well. All right, we're going to talk about how this lasts and wears, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, fix my eyebrows and put on a little bit of mascara, and then we're going to talk about the other products that we have here, as well as about how this product wears on the skin, so stay right there. Okay, so I just went off camera to do my eyebrows and, you know, a little bit of mascara. But I also waited 2 hours just so you can kind of see how this is sitting. I mean, I know because I've worn it days on end, so we don't need that wear test as such. I can tell you guys, but I just wanted you, with your own eyes, to just kind of see the difference after a couple of hours on this side with nothing and this side with a little bit of a dewy primer underneath it. You don't have to use the Charlotte Tilbury. Dewy primer, it came to mind, but there's a bunch of others out there, you know, from all different types, including nice, slick SPF or tinted moisturizers and things like that that also work underneath a fuller medium to full foundation like this one. And as you see, as time wears on, it's tough to tell the difference. I bet you're having trouble. I still think this one has a tad bit more life to it on this side, but for the most part, it kind of evens out as it wears with the skin, and the dewy primer just makes for a more pleasant application process. Not that this side was unpleasant. And if I had an oily skin, you know, oilier skin to begin with, probably wouldn't have had a problem with it at all. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our Cafe Rose Cream Blush in Cafe Blush. That's the color 01. This is a pricey little guy, as you heard at the beginning, and seems to be a little bit of a test to get open, but it's beautiful. And I'm going to use, you could use your fingers, it says. Oh, the nerve. But I'm going to use a little bit of a Merit brush number 1 to apply. And we're even going to put a little bit of it on the eyes because you know everything is a face palette to me. So this is a cream blush. It's infinitely buildable. The color is kind of pretty on everyone, to be honest with you. It doesn't pick up product, but you know, you can also, let me just show you. Ooh, it's so nice. You can also just kind of dab it on with your fingers. Don't be shy. And I'm going to over exaggerate it just for you guys. This is a great cream blush for those of you who aren't always necessarily in love with cream blushes. And I'll tell you why. It applies kind of like a powder blush. In fact, for a moment, I had to do a little bit of a double take when I opened it up. Like, is that a cream? Oh, look at that. It is. And it applies the way it just kind of blends and applies. There's no, you know, sometimes cream blushes almost get a little bit sweaty. You know, they feel like a little bit of slip when you apply them. This one doesn't have that. I'm severely overdoing it here for you guys to really be able to see the shade on me, a light medium skin tone with a really neutral undertone. But do you see how this applies? It's got that nice look to it, like a cream blush, you know, like a dewy plumping look, but it just doesn't have that feel of a cream, and it doesn't have the feel of a really strong powder that just kind of sticks. I also want you to see a little bit of a different look over the different sides, with primer, without primer. It slicks on a little bit quicker on this side, interestingly enough, with no dewy primer, and gives it a little bit more shine. You might not be picking that up on camera. A little bit more shine on this side because we have a little bit more of a matte finish underneath, right? So it's letting the shine show through. This side, a little bit more shine underneath. So you are going to get a slightly different look. Which one is better? Totally personal preference. Totally play with it and decide what you like, okay? Totally, absolutely. But yes, I definitely see that. This is the first time that I've compared two different sides. But yes, I definitely see that. That's actually quite interesting. I overdid it on both sides, and pardon me if it's a little uneven because of that. But yeah, this side is a little bit dewier looking because the base is so matte underneath, which is actually really interesting. Okay, but there you can see it over applied. It's just a really nice shade that's going to be good on so many skin tones and no obvious scent. Now I have two of these YSL Love Shine Candy Glows, and I thought we would just put on the Nude Lavalier just really quickly here just because I got nothing on my lips. And I could just show it to you. For a nude shade, this has a nice amount of color to it and has that, I guess guess when I kind of figgy, I said scent to it maybe a little bit and a little plumping, and maybe it's going to look a little different on your lips because it says it's got those pH properties, but here it is on mine. And it's really, really pretty. In terms of the feel of these Love Shine Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balms, as opposed to the other YSL, oh geez, I don't know. It's splitting hairs. They're all quite lovely on the lips. And this is just another version of it. If you blind tested me, maybe some people would be able to tell, but if you blind tested me, I could tell you by the scent and everything that it was YSL, and probably the feel, to be honest. But could I tell you the difference between this and the others that are also in tubes or in silver tubes with color here? Probably not. And I'm just being totally honest with you. All right, let me go off. We're going to try some of this blush on the eyes because, as I said, to me, everything is a face palette. And I also want to show you the other shade in the Candy Glow Tinted Butter Balm. So stay right there, and I'll actually give it a little more time. I'll give it a little more time. I've got some things to do anyway, and then that way you can just kind of see how these looks are progressing, even though we're not doing a formal wear test. Okay, I waited an hour. I took off that balm anyway because I want to try the other shade with you guys. But here's how the blush is wearing. I didn't even it out or anything. I just want to show you how it's wearing. What do I prefer? I think I prefer a little bit of a dewy primer underneath. I think it just gives it a little bit more movement, and I would say that is my recommendation for normal and dry skin. Just gives it a bit more movement. Doesn't have to be Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Any one you got. Gives it a little bit more of movement. I still think the blush applies beautifully over the top and still stays a nice long time. And I just like it. I think it's a little bit plumper looking, but totally personal preference. Okay, here I also picked up this brown nude shade in the YSL Tinted Butter Balm, the Candy Glow, and I just wanted to show it to you. Again, we have those supposedly pH plumping at play. I like these because I don't enjoy the slightly cloying fruity scent, to be honest, but they do have a nice amount of pigment. They go on really easily and quickly. The other day I tried on something slightly similar that you know of, that lippy stick from Jones Road. Also a slightly weird smell, but weirder than this, and kind of went into lines a little bit. This does not do that. It's still extremely comfortable, slick, really pretty and plumping and flattering to any lip shape. As I've always told you guys, I'm a big chicken and I do not get lip fillers. If I weren't such a chicken, I probably would get a little, but it's just really plumping and pretty on the lips. All right, I think everything is a face palette. So what if we were to use this on the eyes? And many of you are going to go, that is going to crease, Rebecca. Yeah, perhaps, but let me just give it a try. I'm just kind of putting it into the crease of the eye. Speaking of creasing, I just think that I love the monochromatic look. You know, I did this with the Dolce & Gabbana products the other day, if you saw that video. If you haven't, I'll put it up here for you to check out. Okay. All right, using that same brush, I'm just kind of going around there. See, I just think it doesn't look like I'm wearing anything on my eyes now, but yet I still think it pulls the look together just a little bit more and gives it kind of a finished chic look. And let's just give one more look, shall we, to the differing sides of the face. Now, does this affect the longevity or the wearability depending what primer you put on there? Well, I certainly haven't tried every single primer with it, but I haven't found any difference. I think this really, really lasts. You know, it's supposed to last 24 hours. I bet this side really, really would. I mean, it's on there. When I leave it on my hand, as I did now, I'm going to have to use a special, I almost have to go in there with the Lancome Bifacil to get it off. You see it on my hand? Where I left it after I swatched it. Make sure you give a wash right after if you, like me, and so many of us, use the back of your hand as a palette. That is going to be a dangerous one, let me tell you. I think it stays on beautifully. I haven't had this crease in lines. It doesn't have that SPF in it that made me break out. doesn't settle into, it's a beautiful product. The only problem with it is, I mean, it's an investment. It's $150, but if you're going to use it every single day, and there's no reason you wouldn't, it's beautiful coverage. It's comfortable. You don't feel it on. Boy, there's so many good foundations out there though. Do I feel you have to spend $150 to get a good foundation? Absolutely not. But can you spend $150 and really enjoy this foundation? Absolutely yes. So it's a little bit of both. In terms of the Cafe Rose Cafe Blush, this is one of my favorite cream blushes ever, and I'm not a huge cream blush fan. I think the color, I love that there's kind of one kind of universal color. I bet they'll have more because this is 01, but kind of a universal pretty color. Love the application. Love that it feels like that unique cross between a powder and a cream. Love to put it in the eyes just to pull the look together. Could probably even dot it on the lips, to be honest with you. It's just really pretty and easy to wear, and it is a firm favorite already. Now, but the price, yeah, I mean, it's high. This is Tom Ford, though. This is luxury makeup. So it comes with a luxury price tag, and it's a lot cheaper than a Tom Ford bag or shoes, I guess. And then the YSL Love Shine Candy Glow in our tinted Butter Balm Nude Lavalier and Brown Nude. These are beautiful. It has a slightly cloying, fruity smell. They do last a nice long time. It's only a balm, so they don't last forever. They're not going to last through a meal. But the comfort and the kind of treatment aspect of it definitely lasts for many, many hours. Can I tell them apart or differently than the other YSL kind of Love Shines and such? No. No, I guess I could if I sat down and concentrated on it, and I refuse to. Told you, I find that a little strange. Yeah, so pick by the color. They're all really nice. YSL really does hit this out of the park really, really well. So super pretty. I need to know all of your thoughts. I have been wearing this around, and I haven't noticed any sort of an issue with it at all. So it's really important that you know that. And it lines and all that. I've been very pleased with it. It's just kind of an affordability issue, I think. Let me know everything that you think below. That's what makes us a community. What did you pick up? What are you waiting to get? What shades did you get? You know the drill. I want to hear everything. And of course, share and like this video. Please do not forget to subscribe. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.